Hi, 5th of May 25. And this session, we're going to be looking at the Eris Chiron conjunction as Mercury approaches it. I have been talking about this for a few months. It is a big feature of 2025, mainly because of what the planets represent. When we think about Chiron, we're looking at our struggles to cope with the wounds that have plagued us from childhood almost. Any painful situations that we have kept hidden or humiliated by or embarrassed by, they're all contained in our Chiron. And therefore, there's a very sensitive atmosphere at the moment. Now, if we put that with Eris, now let's face it, Eris is all about disputes and brawls, trouble, carnage, everything just hits the fan when Eris gets involved. Eris is mean, was known in Greece to be mean to men. And yes, she delights sometimes in causing the maximum amount of damage or trouble. She exhilarates in mayhem. So if somebody, so the cosmos is going to take our deepest hidden, most embarrassing wounds and mix them with Eris, who is going to cause carnage, brawls, and mayhem, then it stands to reason we need to understand what's going on, especially as Mercury approaches, because that tends to bring it all to Earth. Right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the sharing and we will look at this chart. Here we go. Right, so just quickly looking where the sun and moon are before we start. So the sun is halfway through Taurus. It's now at 15 degrees of Taurus, and the moon is at 28 of Leo. That is actually about to go into Virgo. So when it does, in an hour's time, we will have both the sun and the moon in Earth signs. When we get this, anything that you've been trying to do does get a helping hand in terms that the earth helps us make things real, practical, hands-on. It enables us to actually bring about what we want to produce. Okay, so that's a bit of help in a sky which generally has a lot of fire in it, because we have all this lot here in Aries. Right, what we're looking at, Mercury, 22 degrees of Aries, approaching the Eris Chiron conjunction, which is already within orbits, within 1 degree. Now, we've just talking about the hits that we've got on this. So we've got 3 hits. One is around, when it goes exact, around the 26th of May. And it's at 25 degrees Aries. So Chiron is moving up to Eris. And then we've got another one in October 25, and the last one is in March 26. For all of that time, there will be great sensitivity, vulnerability, and as I say, this is open to some of the worst sides of Eris, which is the carnage and the deceit, lawlessness, brawls, all kinds of things. However, Eris has a good side, and we're going to look at that good side because that's the side we should be appealing to as Mercury approaches. Listen carefully if you're a Virgo sun sign or a Gemini sun sign, because Mercury is your ruling planet, and so you will be more affected by what I'm going to be talking about. Okie dokie, first off, well, they're in Aries. So this means that this will be noticeable. Aries is a fiery, feisty, go for it energy. And therefore, this isn't something that's buried in earth. This is something that is highly visible. So that's the first thing. It's likely that any struggles we have, they may well be around our feeling of courage or lack of courage, strength or lack of strength. Because the zodiac sign lends its own color, if you like, to the situation with the planets, it its imagery. It lends its flavor or color, and so therefore the whole thing will be smothered in Aries energy, and that's going to be about fast, furious, no prisoners taken, and it's going to be hard hitting. This is a sign that goes for it and means it. Okay, so Chiron is about how we cope with wounding and the painful situations. Now, we've all got our own Chiron position in our birth chart, and it really sort of like resonates with that. So when Chiron is active in transit, there is a resonance going on with the Chiron in your own chart. And so we can't really avoid it. Everybody will sort of be subject to it. But as I say, the zodiac signs, sun signs, which are going to notice this most will be Aries, because it's happening in Aries. And then we've got the rulership over Virgo and Gemini. Okay, so Chiron is called by Melanie Reinhardt as the wounds that make us wise. And I think what it has to be appreciated about Chiron is that this planet, yes, it makes us feel deeply wounded and deeply vulnerable and deeply humiliated, to be honest. Wherever it's hidden in our chart, that's where we've got our hidden wounding. However, the purpose of this is to teach us of our human vulnerability, our humanness, to teach us how to accept and be at peace with imperfections, things that are unfair, things that we can't put right, things that harm us or hurt us or have upset us. We have to learn to cope with these things because they are part of our life. And certainly humans are capable of terrible behavior. And so we have to be able to be resilient when the time comes, if it comes. So Chiron is teaching us about our wounds and how to live with them and how to gain a wisdom out of them, because the pain is proportionate to the gain. So when we have pain, yes, there is gain, and it comes in a mysterious way that makes us more adaptable, more resilient, wiser, and more mature. And that is actually what our life is all about, to be honest with you. It's gaining achievement over the things that hurt us and gaining a mastery of learning to live with them. Okay. So now Eris. Oh, wow, Eris. So in mythology, she is a troublemaker. She is known to stay on the battlefield after the battle, delighting in the moaning of men in mythology. And she is stimulated and exhilarated by chaos. I suppose, therefore, that we might look at the chaos that surrounds some IT situations at the moment, information technology, data. There are attacks on major companies here in the UK. So big corporations, Marks and Spencer, you may have heard of it, is under attack by a group of I don't know what to call them, cyber criminals. I don't know. And I suppose that's the type of thing that Eris would get involved with. If you look around for situations like that, then that has an Eris resonance to it. Okay, so Eris is strong, slanderous, vicious, but there is a good and bad side to Eris, and this is the important bit to learn about Eris. It's all about ethics and karma, and so she will reward purposeful action, serious action, to get our own act together. So it's about her inflicting justice, but in a sort of a a way that is more to do with the laws of nature, the natural laws of our existence. She gets involved with manner and taboo, for instance, where we have countries which have a great deal of reliance on the manner and taboo system. Okay, so Eris is quite capable of revenge, but Eris will also make a great deal of difficulty where somebody hasn't properly looked after something or done the right thing. So just to give you an example, if your computer breaks down and there is Eris energy in the air, then it could be that you have been drawn to attend to the computer because you haven't been doing the right care, the data updates, etc., for the computer, and so therefore that's it. You deserve it. You should have done um, better with your computer earlier. So I'm giving that as a rough example because that's the type of thing. So if your car breaks down, okay, did you put oil in it? Did you put water in it? It has that kind of sort of that kind of action around it. Now, um, we can go back to ancient Greece, I don't know, 600, 800 BC, where a well-known historian wrote a great deal about Eris and was very concerned that people should understand about just looking after and taking care of your own world and making good everything that you could do. And if other people are caught up with this spitefulness and this brawling attitude and inflicting pain and carnage, then you should pull away from those people and you should get ahead in the race, just looking at your own stuff, just paying attention to your own things, and don't get caught up with spiteful feelings or getting your own back or trying to inflict tit for tat, because Eris is not good with people who are trying to do that. Eris actually is just has a lot of anger that will be expressed. You're much better off to pull away, separate, don't look over your shoulder at others, do your own thing. And you'll be amazed at how you get a real spurt of energy to push you and what you want to achieve forward, and leave the others behind because they'll have Eris to deal with. So you don't have to do anything. Like I say, this is kind of like a natural karma or a natural justice energy. Now, when Mercury approaches, what Mercury does is brings a level of communication with it, and that will put it into our news, maybe. It will bring about conversations. It will bring about chatter, maybe stuff going on with social media, for instance. I mean, that would be a classic, really. So if there's a big sort of fight, whopping great fight on social media between well-known people, then that would be a sort of a typical scenario. Okie dokie, right. I think that is all I need to cover, I think, for the time being. And that pretty much takes care of the main part of this week. So watch out and make sure that you've got your own act together and you've covered all your bases. And then you can just quietly keep out of the way and get ahead in the race and look at everybody else and think, oops, I think I'll just get away from this one. There you go. Right, I hope that was of use, and it was lovely to talk to you again, and thank you very much. And I will see you again later in the week. And yeah, and that's it. I'll say goodbye now. I'll get off. It was lovely to have you. Thank you. Bye.